Have you ever fantasized about confronting a narcissist? By the end of this video, you're going to know what happens if you confront a narcissist and if you should even bother trying to do it at all. Hi, I'm Rebeccazung, top 1% attorney and the best-selling author of the books Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a step-by-step divorce guide. And I've helped thousands of people go from lives of drama, trauma, and chaos to step into lives of freedom, possibility, and purpose. And I do the same thing for you right here on my channel and in these videos. So make sure that you subscribe and you hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload new content, new videos, and also when I go live. So now let's talk about confronting that narcissist. We all know that narcissists have something called narcissistic injury. And when you trigger that narcissistic injury, or it's almost like a scab that you're bumping off of them, then bad things could potentially happen. So basically, there's only two things that happen when you try to confront a narcissist. And one is that you will get this rash of hostility, this narcissistic rage will come flying out. Or you get the other side of it, which is basically deny, deflect, and say that it wasn't them, or future fake, or project, or something like that. So you're really going to just get one thing or another. So let's just take each one of those things and break them down. So the first one is that escalation of hostility. So narcissists have no sense of self. They feel inside that they're very empty. They are very broken people inside. And so they spend a lot of time trying to cover up that sense of worthlessness that they have deep inside. And, they almost even feel like they are, they have no inner sense of value. They try to get all of their sense of value from the external world. And that's what we call narcissistic supply. If you want to know more about narcissistic supply, you can check out my video on narcissistic supply. But basically, it's anything that feeds that narcissist ego. It's this black hole. It's like throwing bread or money or food into this black hole, and you never see anything come out of it. It's like depositing money into a bank that you never take the deposits back out. Because, for you, when you get into a relationship with this person, you think that you're getting into a relationship with somebody who's going to love you and appreciate you and care for you, and also appreciate the things that you do for them. So especially you empaths out there, I see you. You think you can save this person. You see that brokenness inside them, and you think that if you are wonderful to them and do all these things for them, that they are eventually going to appreciate you and appreciate the things that you do for them. But you just find yourself never feeling that way. I mean, they might love bomb you a little bit again, just to do whatever they need to do to get you back into their spell and under their purview of control. But they really don't ever get back to the full amount of love bombing that they do at the beginning of the relationship. So they go into this devalue phase. So what happens when you try to confront a narcissist? A lot of times what you will see, especially if they are malignant narcissists, they will that narcissistic injury that lives deep down inside of them will get inflamed. It's like that scab gets ripped off, and now that narcissistic rage comes flying out. And sometimes you even see the narcissist collapse And if you want to know more about the bizarre behavior that happens when a narcissist collapses, check out my video on what happens when a narcissist collapses. It can be kind of scary and sort of bizarre thing to watch, but that can happen. So, the first thing that can happen when you try to go to confront a narcissist is that you might just see this escalation of hostility. They realize that maybe a discard is imminent, either from them against you or you against them. It really doesn't matter. But if they see that their source of supply is starting to be pulled back or waning or potentially not even going to be there at all anymore, that's when they start to go crazy. And sometimes they do that just to get a rise out of you, just to get you to be scared, just to because they do get off on that. They get narcissistic supply from watching you squirm, from watching you be afraid, from intimidating you. So sometimes that escalation happens because they're afraid of what, or because they want you to be afraid of what they are going to do next. And if you think that this is so not okay, I want to see a not okay in the comments. And the next thing that happens, if the other side of what might happen if you confront a narcissist, is that they'll just go into what happens when you confront a narcissist with a lie. And if you want to know more about that, check out my video on what happens when you confront a narcissist and a lie. But they just basically go into denial. So it's deny, deflect. They might start future faking. Basically, this is where they'll just start to give you a faux apology, what I call a faux apology. I'm sorry, or I'm sorry you feel this way, or, yeah, it happened, but it's never going to happen again. And, going forward, here's what life is going to look like. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be rosy. Let's just forget about the past. That's part of the denial. Whatever it is that happened to you, or that, you think happened to you, it's not going to happen again, because going forward, everything is going to be the way you want it to be. And narcissists are great at this and getting you to believe it. This goes back to sort of like a love bombing phase in some ways. Whatever ways they got you into their web of control, however they were able to ensnare you, that's what they go back to. And they're extremely charismatic people, very, very good at manipulation, very, very good at getting you to believe that whatever happened is not going to happen again, that this time, this is the one time that it's actually going to be better. Yes, I know I promised this in the past, but this time it's different, and here's why it's different. So, that's why, whatever it is that you're confronting them about, you should not pay attention to. You should not give any credence to, because going forward in the future, it's not going to happen again anyway. So why should you bother even continuing to talk about it? So now you may be wondering, okay, if confronting them isn't going to work, how about therapy? How about if I get this person to go to a therapist, will that work for me? Will I get this narcissist to see the error of his or her ways and finally start realizing how awful they've been to me and the pain that they've caused, and finally start being a team player and being part of this relationship and acknowledging the things that I've contributed, and on and on and on. Okay, so let me just save you some time and save you some money. narcissists really can't be rehabilitated. I've spoken to a lot of psychologists in my work with narcissists, and in my work as a divorce lawyer, I've had to talk with a lot of different psychologists, and all of them have unanimously told me that narcissists, even if you can get them to come and participate in therapy, they can't be rehabilitated. You can't teach them that critical piece, the critical piece that you really want when you're in a relationship with a narcissist, and that is to get them to care, to get them to actually have compassion for you. They just really do not have the ability to feel anything for anybody else. They can be taught what the proper thing is to do, what proper behaviors look like in certain situations. In other words, let's say, you're sick. They can be taught, okay, if I am a caring person, what that looks like is I ask the other person how they're feeling. That is very vastly different from actually caring about how you're feeling. You see the difference? And so if I'm giving you advice right now, which you're watching this, and so I'm going to give you the advice of just going ahead and getting out of this relationship with this narcissist when you can, on your own time. Watch my videos, get my resources, be involved with your healing, and get yourself to a point where you can feel comfortable enough to no longer be in a relationship with this person, because they cannot be rehabilitated. So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, make sure to grab my free Crush My Negotiation Prep worksheet. Thousands of people have downloaded it, and it can be yours too. Just go to winmynegotiation.com and it will be all yours. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a like, give it a share so that other people can be helped with this information. And make sure to drop me a comment. Let me know that you don't think that this is okay. Remember, write not okay. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, now's a good time to do that. Subscribe and hit that notification bell. And if you want more support, come join me in my free private Facebook group. It's called Narcissist Negotiators with rebeccazung. And we will drop links to all this stuff below as well. So thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. Remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life.